water timer. We are going to be going through our budgeting goodies. This morning I went through so much of our budgeting stuff and I was like, I'm going to go through all of this stuff tonight. I'm going to write in everything. So if you have been looking at our stuff and you're like, how do you use that? How would you write in it? I'm going to show you. And if you guys have seen our disc bound budget planner, it is our planner that has all the budget goodies in it, but it's also a monthly planner. So you don't have weekly pages in it, but you do have your monthly calendar, your monthly budget, and things like that. So I'm going to take you through some of the different parts of the planner that I like. So for example, you have your sinking funds planner. What this is where you can actually write down some of the different goals that you have for the year. So for example, if you're saving for like Christmas, you would put that here. And I'm using our planner pen in case you see me using this pen. So I would put Christmas if that's something that I'm saving for. And this can be other things like if you're saving for car tires, or you're saving for a renovation on your home, or you're saving for a down payment, things like that. These are things that you're saving for throughout the year. It can also be something like pet expenses. If you have a lot of pet expenses, or maybe your pet needs a procedure or something that's more expensive, so you can write that down. And then if you're someone who does like a big 4th of July, you can write 4th of July. The idea here is to make a plan before your kind of situation sneaks up on you, okay? So Christmas, what would the goal be for Christmas? Let's just say you want to save $1,000. You want to start saving for this in January, and let's just say you want the money together by November. And then pet expenses, same thing. How much are you looking to have? If you have a lot of pet expenses, like maybe for example, like my dog has a chronic ear infection, maybe you have to save money throughout the year kind of consistently. So you can either put ongoing, varies, or you can put a dollar amount if you want to save every year a certain dollar amount. Let's just say it's $700. And then you'll put when you want it to start. So let's just say you also do it in January. And let's say you want to have all the money together by June, because typically before the middle of the year, you start having expenses. So that is how you would write the dates and kind of the goal amount. Same thing for 4th of July. Let's say you get a lot of fireworks and you like to have at least $300 for your fireworks. And then when do you want to start saving this? And let's just say you also want this by, well, you can get it by July, because you can buy fireworks the day of. And then you will have the plan. So the plan is basically how you're going to get the money. So how do you plan on getting together your Christmas $1,000 from January to November? So it can be per paycheck, however many months you have or whatever. January to November is 11 months and we need $1,000. So we'll do 1,000 divided by 11. So that'll be about $90 a month. If you're paid twice a month, then that's going to be $45 a paycheck. Okay, so like that. That'll be kind of your plan to get this money together. And then once you save this money, you will check that you have completed that sinking fund. Once you decide the different categories that you're saving in, like over here we did Christmas, pet expenses, and 4th of July. Let's just also say you had 4th of July here and pet. Every month on a certain date, you're able to check in and write down your balances for everything at once, okay? If you guys want to move closer to the page, let me know. So each month you will update your sinking funds based on a certain date. So every month on the 15th, for example, closer. Okay, yeah, sure. So every month on the 15th, you're gonna update how much you have in your tire savings, how much you have in your Christmas savings, how much you have in 4th of July, and how much you have in pet expenses. The reason I love this is you have one spot to snapshot everything and update. So let's say for July, you're saving like 20 bucks a month. So then you'll put 20, and then the next month you'll update. You should have 40, right? If you're saving. Each month you're gonna update the balance in these categories. And this is a way for you to see at a quick glance what the balance is in each of your savings categories or sinking funds. This is a disc bound planner, so you can tear these pages out to write in them. It's also a Happy Planner classic size. So if you're familiar with the disc bound planners, this is a traditional classic 9x7. So you do have lots of options for like add-ons and stuff like that. The same thing with your savings snapshot, you have one for debt. So I love this because when I sit and meet with my husband and we're going through our finances, we can look at all of the debt at once. All of your debt, you have one snapshot. So let's say you have your car payment, your credit card, you have a student loan, a personal loan. Let's also say you have your mortgage, right? Let's say you have let's say you owe your mom some money, right? Then you will update each month on again, you have a date. I suggest having a date that you sit down and do everything. It can be when you get your paycheck, your biggest paycheck. It can be when you get your first paycheck, when you're resetting your budget. If you want to do the 15th or the 1st, you would write that here. And then you would update your car balance. Oh, my water timer went off. Let me get some water. You would update the balance to each of these debts on the 15th of the month or whatever date you said. Okay, so for example, if the car January 15th you owe 10,000, and then your credit card maybe you owe 900 on January 15th, and then your Nelnet, which is your student loan, let's just say you owe 17,000, you'll go through and update all of your debt once a month. Okay, same with your savings. Count everything in your savings so you know everything at one time at a glance. And now next time when you sit down and you're like, how much do we owe on the car? You already have everything written down, okay? And if you skip a month or you haven't done the month yet, you have the month before. Like you do have some records, right? Personal loan, let's say you owe 2,500. The mortgage, let's say you owe 270. And let's say you owe your mom 3,000. Okay, so every month on the 15th, you would come update this. Okay, so then in February, how much do you owe on your car? Just say 9,900, your credit card, right? And you would just keep updating this. It's also a good way to see if you're actually making progress on your debt. This comes in the planner already. Again, you don't have to put anything together. You can also track your debt snowball. If you're targeting specific debts, you can track those in our debt snowball section. So what this is it's meant for you to have a one-stop shop for you to track your debt progress, okay? So as you're making debt progress and you want to say, I'm focused on paying down this credit card, you're going to log payment and balance and payment and balance and payment and balance. And you're just going to keep going like that. So you're going to put on here, like for example, Capital One, you're going to put the interest rate. Your starting balance here is 900. Minimum payment is 25. Your goal payment, just say it's 100 and you're trying to get debt free. The due date is on the 7th and you're hoping to pay it off by December. So then in January, you're going to put how much you paid and then what your balance is. Okay, same thing for February, how much you paid and what your balance is. And then in March, how much did you pay and what was your balance? Okay, and this is one way to just keep it going, keep it going. Once it's paid, you can do a line through it, you can do it with a highlighter, paid, whatever. But you can track up to 4 debt snowballs on here, and the debt snowballs is a way for you to focus on just the balance. Yeah, so you have 12 debt snowball trackers in here. I absolutely love the survival mode budget, the idea of it, okay? Because I've been laid off before, I've lost my job before, we've had significant change in income before in my family. So this is a page that is special to me because you're basically preparing for worst case scenario. Now, doesn't mean it's going to happen to you, but if and when it does happen, or something like COVID happens, right? You are prepared with your essential expenses, your variable expenses, and your debt minimums, and you know exactly how much you need each month to pay your bills. Okay, so for example, essentials to me, because essentials to you could be different, essentials to me would be gas, would be groceries. I probably wouldn't go eat at a restaurant. I probably would still want Hulu because I don't want to just stare into the abyss. I would still want internet. Um, I would need my life insurance. That would be something that is important to me. And then I would need to pay my car insurance, my pet insurance, because my dog is, like I said, has chronic ear infections and that can get expensive. And if I let it cancel, then they cancel his ear infections. So gas, groceries, Hulu, it'd be the electric bill, the trash, the gas, right? This is going to be all of your essential expenses that you can't like cancel. Also my cell phone. Okay. The idea is to get a list of your bills if something were to happen. Okay. So you're prepared if you lose your job or your income goes down. Survival mode budget. Okay. Before you need it, it's great to fill it out. So then you're going to put the due date of these things. So maybe gas and groceries doesn't have a due date, but Hulu might, the internet might, life insurance might. Okay, and then you would put the amount. So for gas, how much would you want to put for gas? Okay, so I'd probably put like $100 a month. I wouldn't be going to work anymore, but I'd be going somewhere, maybe applying or doing side hustles. So 100. Groceries, I could survive off 400 a month, right? Hulu TV, $40. Internet, 50. Life insurance, 30. Car insurance. And you're going to just come and fill out what is your essential expenses. Okay. Cell phone is about 100. And then you'll total these things. And this is from Amazon, if you guys are wondering. 40, love this calculator. 30, 150, 40, 40, and then 100 and 100. So the total essentials would be 1,200. Okay, so this would be your essential expenses, and we'll just add that up here. And again, your essential expenses can look completely different. Okay, it's totally up to you. Your budget is your budget. So, and thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. It helps people find us. So that would be the essentials. And then you have your variable expenses. So your variable expenses would be things that you can control, that you can change. Okay, so this could be, this also could be gas and groceries. I call that my essentials because I would still need to get my kid to school. I would still need to feed my children, of course. So variable, I would say, would be household expenses, like household cleaning stuff, supplies, toilet paper. And then I would say household, another variable might be spending. Okay, because if you lose your job, I'm sure you're just depressed in the house. So spending. And then I would say allowance for the kids, because I let my kids earn an allowance. So that might be something that I'd like to keep them having. It's about $10 a month that they earn. Spending, I'd want to spend at least $20 a month so I can get like mascara and stuff like that. And then household, I would say 40 to get like toilet paper, dish soap, detergent on rotation. So 40, 50, 60, 70. So $70 in my variable expenses. And then debt would be, again, if you lost your job, you're probably not in a rush to pay Visa, right? But you might say, I cannot let my credit go bad, or I need my car payment or my car, right? So the car payment might be a priority to you. So let's just say you're like, I have to pay my car. and I'll have to pay my mortgage. Everything else can wait. Okay, and then your car loan, and let's just say your mortgage is 1,700. 20, is that 21? Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna put the variable here, and then the debt, and then we're just gonna add those up to get an idea of our total survival mode budget. So 3370 is what I need a month to survive. Okay, so this is our survival mode budget created from a real life scenario. Okay, I created this when I quit a toxic job and was trying to figure out what I needed to survive. Okay, so that comes in your planner. All this comes in here. You don't have to buy or download or print anything like that. So you have all your debt snowball sheets. You have your bill tracker. Again, one of my favorite sheets because in here, you can track your bills as you're paying them. So sometimes you're paying bills late or you're splitting bills, splitting your payments, things like that. This is a way for you to keep up that you paid the month. So pretty simple on here. You would have all of your bills. My water timer's going off. If you want to do it in order by due date, you can. If you want to just rattle off your bills and write them down, you can do that as well. You would just write all of the bills here, and then as you pay them, check them off. So that's a really cool way for you to not forget the bills you're paying. And you can put, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 32 bills on your bill tracker. Your subscriptions page is good when you're first starting out budgeting because you can write down the different subscriptions that you have so you can keep up with what you need to review, cancel, plan for, things like that. So for example, one of your subscriptions could be like Prime, and let's say it comes out April 1st and you keep forgetting, but you need to probably think about canceling it. For example, that goes there. We have a subscription with Bear Performance Nutrition. I think it's on the 20th. My husband does because he's a marathon runner and he loves all the supplements. And I want to say we pay $60 every 60 days. So it'd be February, March. I just like to write how much it is. So this is a way for you to track all of your subscriptions. If there's something that you want to review, like maybe you have, what is that thing called? That box of clothes that you get? Stitch Fix. I had that for a long time and got random boxes and would not even have time to go through it and would just send it back and was getting charged $20 every so many months. That's the kind of stuff that is good for your subscriptions tracker because you can come through here and be like, this is something I need to review. And you have everything on one page of what you're subscribed to. So you would do like Stitch Fix is something that I need to possibly review. I like to color code my stuff. So it'd be like that. And this is a good way for you to kind of break everything down and see what you're subscribed to. Sometimes we're subscribed to stuff we don't even know. So the net worth tracker is only if it's something that motivates you. So the net worth tracker is something where you can see how much money you have in your checking account, retirement, how much you owe, and then figure out how much you're worth. And you can fill that in every quarter. Your everything I owe sheet is a sheet where when you first get your planner, again, it's one of those pages that you're going to want to dive into. You're going to list your debt, everything that you owe, including like personal loans to family, things like that. You would write all of your debt here, including interest rate and things like that, in any order, and then kind of make a plan, or just it's a good way for you to look and see what you owe. Okay, so we're going to say creditor. Let's just say Nelnet is a student loan, right? And let's just say you owe them $30,000. And the interest rate maybe is 4%. And there's a dollar sign here because sometimes there's debts that the dollar amount's more motivating. Like say you have, let's say you have a credit card and let's say you owe $10,000 to this credit card, and let's say your interest rate is 25%, but every month your minimum payment is $250 and the interest is $225. Okay, so in this scenario, the interest would probably motivate me more than saying 25%, just because you're like, oh my God, I'm paying $250 and $225 is going to interest every single month. Like they're building it behind you like a snowball. And then the minimum payment for the student loan, just for example. And then your pay order would be depending on the debt payoff method. So if you're paying like high priority debt, like high interest, then you would put that there, like high interest. If you're doing a snowball method, you would do snowball, which is the lowest balance first is your number one priority. And then the next biggest debt is your next priority, like that. So let's just say, let me add in here a car loan. Any other ideas for debt? Car loan, let's just say you owe $7,000 and let's say your interest rate's 9%. The dollar doesn't really motivate you here. Let's say you pay $225. You've had this car for a while. You're almost going to pay it off. Your cell phones also would be on here. So if you're financing your cell phones, I was shocked when I looked at my thing and saw the amount I owed on like iPads and stuff like that. It can rack up quick if you're just updating your phones. So for example, like Verizon, and let's just say you owe $2,000 to them on like cell phones and iPads, and interest, let's say it's 0, but they charge you every single month, right? And every month they're charging you $160 to your bill. So if it's a charged off debt, let's also assume you have a bad debt here. So let's just put it down here. Let's say you have a medical bill for $10,000 and it's an old debt charged off, right? There's no interest, there's no minimum payment, but it is charged off. You can put a check or even the year that it was charged off. Okay, many options here. And then you would put now, what order are you paying? So let's just say the date you started tracking, let's say today is the 22nd. Let's say you're starting today. And let's say that you're feeling motivated. How are you feeling towards your debt? Just a word. And then debt payoff method, let's say you're doing the snowball, which is the smallest balance first. And then if you have a target debt-free date, you can write it down. If you don't, that's okay. I'll just say within the next 5 years, I want to pay off my debt, right? It doesn't have to be super specific. Then you're going to say, okay, based on snowball method, which is the smallest debt first, what is number one priority? It would probably be the 2,000 because that is the lowest balance. The next target would be this. Then you decide, is active debt a priority or is charged off debt a priority? It depends on a few things. For me personally, are they suing me? Is it something that they're like actively sending me letters and calling me and all that? Then I might put it as number 3. But if they're not and it's just old, been sitting there, I'll probably just keep kicking the can down the road until I am prepared to focus on it. Okay, so for now, I'll put this one as 3. Then I might go ahead and put this one as 4. Okay, and then 5. And then as you pay off your bills, you'll check off that they're paid off. Okay, now we're going to total our starting balances for everything just to get a starting number. So 30,000, 10,000, 7,000, and 2,000, and the medical, I'm going to add that as well, $59,000. I hate writing at the bottom of the paper. I feel like my handwriting gets super ugly. Okay, 59,000. And then, oh, fantastic. Let me just tear this out. Okay, and then you're going to add your minimum payments as well. So we're going to do 180, 250, 225, 160. So the total in payments is 815. Again, the good thing is for you to see how much you're paying in your minimum payments. So this is the everything I owe sheet. It's a good way for you to get an idea. The 59,000 will be what we put up here. This is kind of like your starting point. And then because this is a disc-bound planner, you can take the paper out and put it back in. Okay. Just kind of lay it back in. Each individual debt, if you want to track, for example, the charge-off debt, you're going to track your debt one by one here. So for example, let's say I want to track my American Express, I don't know, or yeah, let's just say American Express. So the debt name could be credit card, and the creditor is going to be American Express. And then you're going to track your starting balance. Let's just say you owe them $1,500 as of today. And oh my gosh, I never restarted my water timer. I gotta have my water. Okay, so you're gonna put as of, and then your minimum payment. So let's say the minimum payment on this card is $40, and you're on a debt payment plan to pay this off quickly, right? So you're like, I'm paying $200 a month to this card. I want to pay it off in 5 months. Then you'd put that here, snowball/avalanche payment. And that's just a spot for you to write if you're paying a little extra. Okay, I like to keep everything in one spot for you. So if you're on a debt-free journey, you still have a spot to track that. And then your interest rate, whatever it is, you can put it here. Due date, let's just say it's due on the 4th of every month. If you have like promo rates, like 0% interest, it expires in 3 months, you can write that stuff here. Okay, if you're doing a debt-free journey, you can write paying $200 for 5 months, blah, blah, blah. So promo rate, I'm just gonna put ends July, just little notes for you, okay? And then each month that you're making payments, you're gonna log the payments. So you're literally gonna put the month of January, when did you pay it? And you can say I paid it today, January 22nd, and I paid $200, and I owe now $1,300, or $1,310.70, right? Let's just say interest. Now, the little thermometer on the side, you can use it a few different ways. So you can either track the balance or the total amount that you want to pay. The balance is $1,500, so you're going to do $1,500 times 10, and then just hit the percentage sign, and that's 150. So when I've paid 150 towards the balance, okay, I'm going to color this in all the way until you have paid off 1,500. And then you even have this little color in thing where you can color in as you pay down your balance, which is super fun. You color that in as you go, okay? And then you have 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you have 10 different individual debt trackers, okay? That's for you to track the individual debt for like money moving in and out, okay? If you just want to see snapshots, we have just the snapshots at the front that I showed you guys. You also have your savings trackers. These are 2 to a page, and the savings trackers are meant for you to track any of the savings that you are focusing on. So it could be a birthday party, a big family reunion, it could be car tires, it can be Christmas, it can be 4th of July, whatever you're saving. We went through the sinking funds in the front of the planner, and we created some sinking funds here. So you could track these here too. So Christmas, 4th of July, pet expenses. So let's just put 4th of July, for example, on here. I'm flipping it a lot, but don't worry, it's a disc bound, so nothing will mess up. You just push it back together. Okay, so saving for, I'm gonna put 4th of July. Maybe you do a big party, you get a lot of fireworks, you're that family on 4th of July. Block party. This will be a short-term goal, and you can even write the amount of months. So if you're saving from January to July, it's gonna be a 7-month goal. And the current balance, however much you're starting the fund with, maybe it's 50 bucks. And then you're going to put your savings goal for 4th of July. Let's say you want to have $400 for food and some fireworks for 4th of July. and then your monthly contribution. So are you adding every month to it, or are you just adding as you go? So then you're going to put a monthly contribution if you're adding every month. So maybe you're adding 40 bucks a month. So then you will put if it's a cash or digital savings account, and it could be digital if it's just in the bank, doesn't have to be. And then you will put each time you add money. So let's say today you add $100, and did you take any money out? No, your balance is 100. And then you can color in your progress bar here. So again, you just take the goal and multiply it by the percentage. So if the goal is 400, let's do 40% times 40% is 160. So this is 160, and you don't have to write it. I'm just going to write it so you guys can see. 400 times 30%, 120. Okay. 400 times 20% is $80. So we're around, we have 100, so we're between 20 and 30%. So then you'll take your little marker and you are going to color in your little goal. Oh, I love this little mint green. Okay, and these are the Mr. Pen Sleek Chisel Tip. Also, I have his muted pastel markers. Obsessed with these for the planners. Obsessed. And this is how you'll track your savings goals. Let me show really quick. You also have savings challenges, Christmas savings challenges. I'm going to show the one that has everything in it, including everything I just showed, but it's like the holy grail. So this one has just the monthly and the paycheck stuff, and you wrap up your month, but it doesn't have the weekly planner.